Since 2003, this is the Sports Source, East Tennessee's #1 sports talk show.
Brought to you by Junk Be Gone and the Garza Law Firm.
With your host, John Pennington. The Sports Source starts now.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into the Sports Source. We're happy to have you joining us today. The Vols get a big win over Vanderbilt, 42-17. Snap a 6-game losing streak, and if you're keeping track of these things, now go to 4-5 versus Vandy in their last 9 games, so almost to 500 against the Commodores. Actually saw a little history yesterday in case you missed it. I don't know if anybody talked about it, but the first points scored by a female kicker in a Power 5 game were yesterday. SEC Network didn't make a big deal out of it, so I just mentioned it in case you missed it. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Vanderbilt game, and we're going to talk mainly about the hottest topic in town, and that is Jeremy Pruitt's job situation. So let's get into this. First segment of our program is brought to you by our friends at Junk Be Gone. It's almost Christmas, and that means boxes, wrapping paper, new furniture to replace old furniture, trees to get rid of. Rather than hauling all that stuff to the dump yourself, have Junk Be Gone come to you. They'll even load all that stuff if you like and take it away for you. Make it a new post-holiday tradition this January. Call Junk Be Gone. They can help you get rid of the Christmas mess after the fact. Junk Be Gone, junkbegone.biz to learn more. All right, let's welcome in the first wave of panelists today we have right here. VFL Will Overstreet, thank you for joining us. Right there, Jimmy Hines from WNML. You can hear him Monday through Friday from 3 to 7. Jimmy, thank you.
Thank you.
And right down there, Chuck Cavaleris, who you can find here every Sunday, and Man About Town. Chuck, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Okay. As I said, the Volunteers get a win yesterday. It's their first victory since October 3rd. That is a long time ago.
Wow.
Pulling away from a depleted Vanderbilt squad. And somebody got on to me yesterday because I tweeted, well, you're pulling away from the walk-ons now. That's just a fact. I mean, that Vanderbilt team, give them a little bit of credit because they went out there with a completely, well, again, you had a female on the team. That is a depleted team, and they went out there and took their beating. Vols get the win. They did what they're supposed to do. Late in that game, you got the feeling they were working on some things as well, getting some young guys in there. Basically, you did to Vanderbilt what Florida did to you the week prior. Your takeaways from the Vanderbilt game, just general observations, and hold the quarterbacks just for a second. We'll talk about them separately, but your thoughts on the game, anything that stood out to you?
Obviously, it looked like the defense had improved. I mean, they did a lot of different things. They did some things that they haven't done as much. They blitzed the linebackers for the majority of the game, it appeared to be at times, and tried to get back there, and they were a lot more aggressive, counting on Vanderbilt to make mistakes, and I think they got some of those mistakes because of how aggressive they did play. And so I thought they dominated. And overall, the defense, I thought, played even better than the offense in that game and looked competitive out there. But, you know, we're still comparing this to a team that I don't know how many scholarship guys actually played on that offense yesterday. And so you have to take that into account. But they did what they had to do. They were out there, you know, they stumbled a little bit at the first, but they came back, they locked it down, and they played a great game against that team.
You're kind of grading on the curve a little bit, aren't you, with this one? But they did have 9 explosive plays of 20 yards or more. 7 of them were pass plays. There were 2 runs. I thought the run defense showed up again. I thought they did a really good job run defense against Florida, where they held them 17 for 19 yards against Florida. In this game, I think Vanderbilt had 53 yards, something like that, rushing. And they were more committed to the run, and Tennessee did a nice job. I thought there was consistent pressure on the quarterback, which is pretty good. I know the Vanderbilt's offensive line was missing a lot of people. And then Velus Jones showed up. What a big game he had. I thought he was very impressive. As he continues to get more comfortable with the offense, I thought he had a big game for Tennessee.
Well, it looked like they were having fun, didn't it? I mean, It's been a while, it seems like, since you saw that. And then, like Jimmy's saying, the explosive plays, it's like, yeah, you do have some playmakers. You can get the ball downfield. But again, like you said, John, I mean, Vanderbilt had like 18 scholarship players total for defense. And shuffling it around the interim head coach. But Tennessee was making plays. You wonder how many times you can get away with that all-out blitz or blitz without getting burned. You know, a good offense is going to make you pay for that at some point.
Yeah, can you blitz every down against somebody other than Vanderbilt?
Probably not.
Let's take a look at the quarterbacks. A lot of people were talking about that yesterday. There are your numbers for Harrison Bailey and J.T. Shrout. Both had 2 touchdowns, Shrout with 1 interception. Bailey got the majority of the playing time, but Shrout came in, and that's when the lead first opened up, so I think a lot of people fell in love with that. Shrout has the stronger arm. There's no question. He's got a good-looking arm. Question is decision-making, which you saw throwing the coverage. Your takeaways on the quarterbacks and how they played and who you thought walked out of that as the leader to be your – and Jeremy Pruitt's already said you're going to see these same two guys against A&M. But who would be your leader? From what you've seen so far these last 2 weeks, who's your guy? Is it still Bailey? Are you saying, nah, let's go with the veteran Shrout? Thoughts on the game and what it did to your perception of them?
I still think you'd go with Bailey at this point just because of the decision making. I mean, you don't have a huge separation, but you have a great arm that throws it, gets an interception back on you, they almost go the other way, pick six. We've seen enough of that. I mean, that's the part of it. So, I mean, I think what you're looking at is Bailey is a guy that holds it too long. He has gotten sacked. I think that's been some of his issues. So he's got to learn a few things. But you're talking about a true freshman that he got better this week. He's gotten better every time I thought he's gone into a game and seen more things. And so I look at it and go, keep working with that guy and see what's the top end. Where can he go? How far can he progress before I start looking at a whole lot of other things? Shrout's in there. He deserves some time to see some stuff. But overall, you still question his decision making because, Kentucky game, he comes in and throws one pass, interception.
Yeah.
This game, he does it again. I mean, he looks good at times, but his downside is he's turning it over.
Well, and that was kind of the issue you saw with him last year when he got in. Maurer got more playing time last year, but Shrout had a tendency to throw into coverage a year ago as well. And you wonder, we talked about this before the show, you wonder if having the strong arm leads him to think, I can fit her in there.
Especially under pressure.
Yeah. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the quarterback play?
I'd stay with Bailey. I think that one thing he's shown, he's really accurate. He completed his first 13 passes against Vanderbilt. I asked Velas Jones about him post-game last night, and he said that he was accurate from day one, that he really was impressed with Bailey, with his ability to put the ball where he wants to. I think he's getting better command of the offense. Pruitt indicated this, that sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long. Okay, that's better than a pick six or an interception. Yeah. But I do think that he is progressing. That's the guy I'd go with. And like Will, I'd go with Shrout as well. He would play some. But I would continue to start Bailey.
No, if it's not broke, it's not broken, why try and fix it? That's working. I'm not even sure the Harrison Bailey fumble was a fumble. And, keep hearing Pruitt say he needs to get the ball out quicker. Would help if he would block their best pass rusher. That might help a little.
Yeah, there were a couple of, he got sacked 5 times last week, and Pruitt said that. And a lot of those he was holding it. Well, not on all 5. No. There were a couple times when he got ear hold the same way that Garantano did.
When Harrison Bailey's on the field, at least you have an indication Tennessee has a tight end that might be able to catch a pass. And having Jalen Hyatt, we've been saying time after time, you got to get something from either the tight end or the slot receiver. Jalen Hyatt had never played slot receiver in his high school career, and that's where they're trying him. And at least that gives you something else there to work with.
Did they get enough young guys in there yesterday? I mean, one thing that people have been calling for all year, especially after when things started to go off the rails, okay, go ahead and play the youth. And they really hadn't. You go back and look against Florida and Auburn, you're still sitting there saying, why am I not seeing more Weidman? Why am I not seeing Beckwith? Why am I not seeing more Key Lawrence? Where are these guys? Did you feel that they got enough of those guys in yesterday, and did they get them in soon enough? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
I thought that they probably could have played some young guys a little bit earlier. I was looking at the defense, and even late in the game, maybe Vanderbilt's last possession, Henry To'o's still in there.
Yep.
Why? So I thought they probably could have worked in some younger guys, in particular on defense. I have been eager to see some of these young receivers step up beyond Hyatt. They played some of Weidman, who got a block in the back penalty. But where's Callaway and where's Holiday? Those are guys I would like to see them incorporate in. So I thought they could have played some of these younger guys more snaps and a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you got a couple of the running backs in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that looked good. So, I mean, yeah, and you wonder that, John. Did we kind of wonder at some even earlier in the season? Even when you had the game in hand against Missouri, you had a chance to kind of get some players in, and it didn't seem like you did. And then you said, well, we're young, we're inexperienced. Get some of them on the field.
You're playing
let them see if they can make plays.
I went back and looked at the Florida and Auburn games. You're by far giving most of your snaps to your seniors, which, okay, you could make the case that most teams would. But if you're at the end of this year, things aren't going well, and you're still giving the majority of your snaps to seniors, maybe it's time to shift that up, because to say, well, we're a young team, not according to the numbers. I mean, your freshmen are the last in terms of the snaps that are going out. But We'll debate that as the season wears on. I'm sure next week against Texas A&M they may have an opportunity to play some guys for the opposite reason, but we'll discuss that. When we come back, let's talk about the biggest topic in town. That's what everyone seems to be talking about, and that is Jeremy Pruitt's job status. If we were in Phillip Fulmer's shoes, what would we do? Bring him back? Let him go. Come on back, we'll tell you.